Hi, my name is Suraj, and today we are going to present about the effective classroom management in contemporary education. The contemporary classroom management is no longer about discipline that includes the purposeful combination of the learning system that includes student relationship, well-being, and achievement. It includes behavioral relationship and teaching to an individual to create learning environment that are comprehensive where all the learner can flourish. The report shall be dedicated to the critical analysis of the policy of the institution and these holistic models, namely teacher-parent collaboration and proactive process or programs that help in classroom management. The philosophy of CM practice that I have in relation-oriented and active practice, which is founded on the principle of respect, empathy, and collaboration. With constant expectations, emotional security, and accountability, students are able to be empowered enough to gain control over themselves and their studies. The presupposition of the work are guiding power of the policy framework on the professional practice, the capacity of a holistic and evidence-based approach to support the engagement, the role of the teacher and parent as partner in the behavioral support, and the active behavior of promoting autonomy and participation. All these impressions together make the classroom management a foundation of transformation learning that is non-disciplinary. Institutional framework and policy implications for classroom management. The correlation of the national and state policy helps in the successful management of classroom and well-being Australia, which consequently leads to equity and inclusion. Australian professional standard of teachers bring the legal and ethical duties to the teacher in form of the provision of safe learning experience and the differentiation of instruction to the families and professional communication with the families. As much as these framework are consistent, these equally process their own problem in the application, like inconsistency in the interpretation of the framework by teachers and the systematic support needs of the relational practices. It is highlighted that the two ideas of the policies cannot be used with the punitive and compliant-based approaches and require reflective and relational approaches. To this extent, the successful operationalism ought to be grounded on the trauma-sensitive practice, dialogue of restoration, and positive models of behavioral support, which can translate with the legislative system into a positive practice in the classroom. Holistic student-centered approaches to the management. A holistic classroom management approach acknowledges that the social, emotional, cognitive, and environmental factors interact dynamically to influence student behavior. Instead of only pursuing control, it aims to establish learning conditions that embrace autonomy, belonging, and engagement. The ecological system theory offered by Bronfenbrenner expands the set of perspective, placing classroom behavior in the concept of nesting, that is family, school, and community, highlighting the needs for the regular communication amongst the system. In the meantime, the PERMA model developed by Seligman emphasizes nurturing positive emotional engagement, relationship meaning, and the achievement as source of well-being and motivation. The confluence of views enables the teachers to hold the positive, and the behavior is a type of communication, and this involves the understanding, organization, and responsive pedagogy. It is applied to the practice in the shape of such strategies as morning meeting, emotion checkups, and restorative circles that result in trust and correlation. Collaboration roles, teachers and parent partners in management. Classroom management requires a meaningful partnership between parents and teachers because expectation in both home and school environment are reinforced to support student well-being, behavior, and learning. In case of frequent communication between teachers and parents, children feel coherent and emotionally safe, which lead to a better engagement. The framework of school of family partnership by Epstein also recognizes six dimensions: parenting, communicating, volunteering, learning at home, decision-making, and community collaboration as an example of how shared responsibility help maintain positive behavioral outcomes. Nevertheless, power imbalance, different cultural values, and socioeconomic force can impair effective collaboration. Culturally responsive partnership and strength-based partnership has been known to enhance attendance, performance, and self-regulation. To make this principle operational, teachers are to introduce a structured two-way communication via platform like a seesaw or a class dojo, organize flexible meetings, and collaboratively making behavior support plans based on family priorities. Transparency and accountability can be ensured by a clear and concise written partnership description that helps define responsibility, reaction time, and conduct reviews. Proactive and preventive practices for engagement and self-regulation. Proactive classroom management (CM) focuses on prevention and relations building rather than reaction and punishment. It enables students to acquire self-regulation and behavior ownership, thus maintaining engagement and well-being. Finally, classroom proactivity leads to a culture of respect and collective accountability where teachers focus on instilling capabilities rather than implementation of rules. The classroom turns into a self-organizing learning community in which learners acquire the ability to think, cooperate, and handle their behavior in a constructive way in various situations. And professional and creative communication in practice, the narrative presentation was intentionally designed to convey confidence, clarity, and professional consistence with the interview expectation. It is employed a structured narrative, introduction, analysis, and synthesis to maintain a coherence and logical flow. It is understandable to a large audience because of the use and characteristic and enduring time as well as the slow pace. This is done this is it characterizes and slopes. This is done in the selection of images based on the theory of multimedia theory of learning. It is introduced by Mayer, which introduced short text, contrasting color, and utilizes of relevant image to improve the cognitive processing and memorization. Disruption and stopovers were implemented to lead the discussion and support the main information. Thus, design shows a research oriented in between academic rigor and innovation and articulation of the level of professional judgment and reflective awareness that graduate teachers require. For the conclusion, by managing the classroom, the three elements of policy literacy, whole person, pedagogy, and partnership are combined to provide inclusive and self-managing learning communities. Engagement, health, and justice are achieved through the use of theoretical, active, and event-based intervention. This lesson has supported my philosophy in respectful relationship and reflective practice as the pillar of the professional excellence and the preparedness to teach in the modern world. These are my references for this PowerPoint presentation.